Armada steams towards southern France to open another front. Landing on the Riviera, Allied forces meet fierce opposition in some areas, but advance easily elsewhere. Larry Kane writes to his wife,
"On we sweep. The tanks, the half-tracks, the trucks, the jeeps careening wildly in clouds of choking, blinding dust. To hell with the enemy. Keep pushing. Do it the Russian way."
Fighting with the Allied armies are men and women of the French resistance, described by Eisenhower as worth 6 divisions. Within a month, the Allies control most of France. CBS News, August 25th.
American and French troops have made their way to the heart of Paris. General Electric takes you to London. Richard C. Hottelet reporting.
Radio Paris has been broadcasting all afternoon descriptions of the city going wild with joy of enthusiastic welcome to the French and American troops.
Colonel Alexander Standish writes home to the States from Paris.
As we passed the Palais Royal, shooting broke out all around. Snipers were firing into the crowds. The parade broke up quickly as resistance men took positions to return the fire. Finally, 2 snipers were driven from the building, beaten savagely, and shot.
Ollie Stewart reports for his newspaper, The Afro-American.
Beautiful women dashed into the streets to kiss dusty, GI lads, to throw flowers and offer wine. I've never been kissed so much in all my life. It is a beautiful custom.
A GI to his chaplain, Rabbi David Max Eichhorn.
French girls haven't got anything that American girls haven't got. The important thing at the moment is that the French girls have it here.
The Army distributes 50,000 condoms monthly, at 3 for a dime. But abstinence is encouraged. A 1943 manual titled Psychology for the Fighting Man contends
the soldier whose standards are such that he can indulge in promiscuous sexual activity without disgust may be an efficient soldier. Such a man may, however, seriously disturb the morale of other men. His loose talk may rouse the sexual needs of men of more complicated character. Men should keep their minds off feelings of deprivation by hard work and strict attention to the job of winning the war.
Frank and Julia Glut have been married 2 years. Donnie was born in February 1944. Frank is in the Air Corps, a bomber pilot trained in Texas.
August 4. I guess today will be our final goodbye. I walked to Frank's barracks with him and tried awfully hard not to cry. I behaved quite well until I got back to the hotel, and then I just sobbed.
Said goodbye to Julia and Donnie for the 3rd time. This was it. Sure we'll miss her and the little guy.
Frank goes to England, Julia goes home to Chicago, connected to her husband now through letters and their son. By the time the Allied armies reach the French border, the Italian campaign has been going on for more than a year. A year of slow advances, bloody battles, and destruction. From air bases all over southern Italy and nearby islands, American pilots fly daily missions to destroy enemy troops and supply lines. Ralph Lewis to his parents.
These men know they must continue to fly and fight and even die. Not for any reason an armchair patriot back home might give, but because the quicker they knock out the enemy, the sooner we can all go home. Newspaper accounts don't tell about the shattered nerves of those who survived and those who didn't make it back at all. They don't show the dejected faces of the ground crew members whose planes don't return, or the way they keep scanning the sky hoping that somehow, some way their ship will struggle home.
After D-Day, when most of the world's attention turns to Northern Europe and the Italian campaign is at a stalemate, many fighting in Italy feel forgotten and ignored. Archbishop Francis Spellman, the Vicar General of the Armed Forces, conducts a mass for Italian campaign flyers and crews. Spellman writes home.
These young American airmen believe that they are suffering and dying to bring salvation and peace to their fellow men. For some of them, it was the dawning of their last morning in this world. The value of each soldier's life pressed upon me. Bidding them Godspeed, I humbly accepted their messages. "Tell my wife you were with me," said one.
Martha Gellhorn.
Soon the end of this long Italian campaign will become a fact, not a dream. No one wants to think of what men must still die and what men must still be wounded in the fighting before peace comes. It is awful to die when you know that the war is won anyhow. These days, every man dead is a greater sorrow because the end of all this tragic dying is so near.
General Eisenhower worries that Americans will assume that the end of the war is near and become complacent. He writes to his wife, Mamie, "Every victory is sweet, but the end of the war will come only with the complete destruction of the Hun forces. There is still a lot of suffering to go through. God, how I hate the Germans." When the German army reaches the Siegfried Line, it turns and fights. It isn't about conquest anymore, it's about survival. Fighter pilot Quentin Anderson writing home from England.
I can hear heavy bombers going over. That means some part of Germany is going to catch hell tonight. But it also means some of those boys up above are going to die soon. You got to see it and live it to realize just what is happening in the flak-filled skies over Germany.
On October the 21st, American troops capture Aachen, the first German city to fall. The victory is mostly symbolic. Aachen has little military value, but the losses are real. 5,000 American and 5,000 German casualties. Combat engineer Larry Kane to his wife Grace.
Hello, darling. The battle is over now, and it was a